Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another GingerRunner.com review. One of 3 I am posting today, all from Newton Running. You are currently watching my review of the Newton Energy NR2. It's the sequel. But before I get to this review, perhaps you want to watch one of the other 2 reviews that I'm posting today. That's fine. If you want to, all you have to do is just click one of the 2 shoes. We have the Newton Fate and the Newton Aha. That's how I've been saying it all day. I can't stop. If you want to watch one of those reviews, click the shoe. Just click it. I'll give you a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. But thank you for staying. All right, the Newton Energy NR2. This is the sequel to the first version, the Energy NR, obviously. Now, those of you who might remember my review of the Energy NR, you'll remember that was one of my favorite Newtons ever. The changes that they made to the Energy NR2 are subtle, but I think they're pretty important, because while the earlier brother was definitely one of my favorite Newtons, the Energy NR2 drops a couple positions and raises a couple of red flags. They made some subtle tweaks. I'm just not really feeling them. It's still a decent transition into Newtons, especially if you're looking to transition into a 4-foot style running gait. I don't think it's the best option in the Newton lineup now, so it's interesting. It's an interesting shoe to me. I'm curious about what you guys think about it, but before we even get to that, I need to tell you the things that I like and dislike about the Newton Energy NR2, so let's do that. Things that I like about the Energy NR2, the upper, and I've said this about all the new Newtons, especially the ones that I'm reviewing today. I think this new double layer fabric upper is awesome. I think it's super comfortable, it's stretchy, it allows your foot to splay. There are no seams on the inside. Thinking about where Newton came from years ago with that version of the upper, it was almost like a net plasticky material. This is a huge innovation for them. The materials that they're using in these new shoes is awesome, and this upper is great. The medial side bridge, or they call it EMB, and you can tell because it just says EMB right there. Essentially what's going on is there's this nice flat area right here in the midfoot to help transition you right there into the lugs. In my mind, it gives you a little bit more stability through the midfoot. The first version, I really liked it. The transition from that midfoot into the lugs and into the toe off was super smooth. The EMB had a lot to do with that. I think that's transitioned into the second version as well, and I like it. Odor. I actually like the fact that this shoe does not retain odor compared to the last version. If you remember, that was actually one of my biggest dislikes. And yes, my feet stink normally, but for some reason, those shoes reeked. The new version, I can't even smell it. I put maybe 40, 50 miles on the shoe. It smells like gold, and I love it. Now it's time for dislikes. Bow bow. Stiffer EVA. I don't know the recipe or the vulcanization or whatever the process is that Newton is using for their EVA material, but whatever they did in this second version, I feel like they stiffened it up. One thing I really liked about the first version of the Energy was that it felt like a really nice cushioned Newton with subtle lugs. This feels less like that. The first ride right out of the box was not the most pleasant experience. I was expecting this to be the next coming, and it wasn't. Heavy. It's close to 10 ounces. The shoe is definitely the heaviest of the bunch today. The original Energy NR wasn't necessarily super light, but I feel like they increased the weight on this one ever so slightly, and not to its benefit. Now, I will call this a dislike on the Energy NR2. However, this is across the board, and I have mentioned it in the other reviews today. That is market differentiation. This is a great introductory shoe into a Newton shoe. So is the Aha. In my mind, I don't know why they have both of these shoes. I think the Aha is a better version of the Energy NR2. I like the Energy NR1 a lot, but now Newton is calling this the stability version of the Aha. However, I think the 2 shoes do the same thing, which is transition you into Newtons without giving you too much lug too soon. In this case, if given the choice between the Energy NR2 and the Aha, I would choose the Aha any day of the week. I just worry that there are too many options now amongst the Newton lineup for a consumer to choose. So you will definitely have to get your feet into each and every one of those shoes to figure out which one will work for you. Do you need a more responsive ride? Do you need a cushioned ride? Do you need a subtle lug or a really pronounced lug? Do you need a fast shoe? Do you need a hug? And that is it pretty much for dislikes. I think this is a good shoe. It's an interesting follow-up to the original Energy. I think the Aha is a better version of the Energy, but it doesn't have that midfoot bridge. So I'm actually really curious to hear what you guys think. Before we get to the question of the day, we've got to do the points. Quality, I'm gonna give them 4 out of 5. I think the new materials that Newton is using are dynamite. It's a really good quality shoe. You're getting a little bit of wear and tear, but it's not super subtle, and I think this can go a long distance before it really starts to blow out. 4 out of 5. Comfort, it's gonna be a borderline 3 out of 5, but I will give it 4 out of 5. It's not quite as comfortable or plush as the Energy NR, but again, it is a good transition shoe into Newton. If you're looking for the stability version, I would still choose the Aha. Price, 4 out of 5. At $110, it's at the lower end of the Newton scale, which is great. I still think it's a little pricey, especially as an introductory shoe into the Newton line. And finally, looks, well, I'll give it 4 out of 5 because I know that Newton just does good things with the looks of their shoes. I don't think this is the best color combination. Is this Michigan State colors? Come on. But I'll give it 4 out of 5. That brings our grand total to 16 out of 20 for the Newton Energy NR2, which is a good score. It's definitely a good score. It's not the worst score that I'm giving in the reviews today, spoilers, but it's definitely a shoe that you will want to put your foot in and try out for yourself if you're looking to transition to a forefoot style running shoe. Newton does that pretty much in spades. Thanks to the lug system, the 5 lugs, baby. That is it for my review of the Energy NR2. Now remember, I have 2 other reviews going up today. All you have to do is click these shoes to go watch one of them. We have the Newton Aha and the Newton Fate. I'll give you a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. So the question today, have you run in the Energy NR2 or the Energy NR, and what did you think of those shoes? Let me know in the comments below, and let's talk about it, because I'm really curious what you guys think about this shoe and if it's a good follow-up or a bad follow-up to the original version. Are you guys feeling what I'm feeling on it? Don't forget, if you like this review, like, favorite, share, and subscribe. YouTube.com/TheGingerRunner. I'm on all the social networks, over on Twitter @TheGingerRunner, over on Facebook, Facebook.com/TheGingerRunner, on Instagram, it's @EthanNewberry, and of course, GingerRunner.com. I'm also doing live shows every single Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so do not miss out. I hope you guys are getting out there, training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. Goodbye.